Yo, the internet is in full meltdown mode right now because Lil Durk finally broke his silence. And what came next, nobody saw coming. Not even close. After months of cryptic captions, silent tension, and people wondering if the OTF camp would ever address the Vaughn situation again, Durk just dropped a message that's got fans divided, Vaughn's mom speaking out, and Asian Doll firing all the way back. It started with a single post. No song, no interview, just a message. Short, sharp, and loaded with subtext. Durk wrote, "Sometimes love don't save you from betrayal. I stayed quiet out of respect, not weakness. Bro, the second that hit the timeline, it was over. Fans went crazy. TikTok detectives hit the green screen. Twitter started trending Vaughn, or Durk, and all Asian. And within hours, Vaughn's mom posted a message of her own. And let's just say, it wasn't what people expected, but the plot thickened when Asian Doll jumped in. She went live, clapped back hard, and made it very clear that she's still standing on whatever she said before. And she even hinted that there's more to the story, like messages, screenshots, and convos that people don't want exposed. So now the internet's stuck asking, was Durk finally defending himself? Was Vaughn's mom taking shots or trying to calm the storm? And did Asian Doll just reignite everything? We got all the receipts, reactions, and hidden context, so stay locked in because this drama, it's just getting started. It had been months of silence. Lil Durk didn't post, didn't mention Vaughn, didn't step into any of the drama, and every time his name trended, fans were begging for answers. Was he distancing himself? Was he grieving privately? Was there something he couldn't say? And then, without warning, he spoke. One single Instagram story, black background, white text. Sometimes love don't save you from betrayal. I stayed quiet out of respect, not weakness. No keys, no hashtags. But the entire internet felt the heat. It was one of those posts that make you sit up and go, oh, he's talking to somebody. And fans knew exactly who they thought he was talking to. King Von, or maybe not to him, but about him. Or about the people still speaking on him. Maybe even about the people weaponizing his name in songs, tweets, and shady podcast interviews. Either way, the message hit the internet like a slap. Within minutes, Twitter was already flooded with hot takes. He finally said it. Not Durk calling people fake mourners. This might be aimed at Vaughn's fam or Asian. And just like that, the story unraveled in real time. The first person to respond, publicly and emotionally, was none other than Vaughn's mother. Miss Leandra has always been quiet, respectful, she posts memories, tributes, and avoids the back and forth. But this time, she shared a quote that had people talking. A simple post. Don't ever act like silence makes you real. Real people don't have to hide behind it. The message was clear. She didn't appreciate Durk's post. Or at the very least, she felt it was aimed in the wrong direction. Comments under her post started filling with fans arguing on both sides. She's right, Durk should have talked to her, not the internet. But also, maybe he's fed up with the fake loyalty. Vaughn's legacy getting pulled apart by the people who claim to love him most. But then, enter Asian Doll. You already know how this goes. Asian has always said she was close to Vaughn, always defended their relationship even when people called her out for clout chasing. And Durk's silence on her name made things worse. She felt iced out by the OTF camp, forgotten, disrespected. So when Durk posted that line about respect and betrayal, it hit every nerve. Asian went live. No filter, no background music, just her in a hoodie, holding her phone like she was ready. She didn't hold back. How you gonna post a quote like that and act like you ain't been the one ignoring his name this whole time? Don't talk about respect when you couldn't even post him on his birthday. The chat was going crazy. Thousands of people watching, dropping, and he not gonna like this. And then she dropped this bomb. There's DMs, there's voice notes, there's whole convos y'all don't know about. And trust me, if I wanted to expose the real, I could. Pause. Fans instantly started flooding Twitter with screenshots, people pulling up old Vaughn and Asian clips, breaking down their relationship like a documentary. Some were supportive, others were skeptical. Asian always making it about her. Nah, this time she snapped. She not lying. Durk better respond or this is gonna spiral fast. But Durk didn't say anything else. He didn't clap back, didn't delete his post, didn't drop a second message. And that silence, it spoke louder than a diss track. What made this all hit even harder is that Von's legacy is still very much alive. His name trends almost every week. His unreleased music still leaks. People still get tattoos of his face. But now, it's starting to feel like his memory is being turned into a battlefield. And the worst part? No one's really saying what the issue is. Durk's post was vague. Von's mom spoke in quotes. Asian hinted but didn't reveal. And fans are left piecing together a story that no one will confirm. Then came a twist. A blog known for leaking behind-the-scenes tea posted that someone close to the OTF camp allegedly told them that Durk's silence had nothing to do with disrespect and everything to do with legal pressure. According to them, Durk was advised not to speak on Von publicly in detail. Something about lawsuits, investigations, and people trying to twist his words. That might explain the silence, the distance, the cold energy. But it didn't help that an old unreleased Durk verse leaked the same night. And in it, he raps. A lot of people say they love you when the funerals start, but when it's time to ride, they fall apart. Whew, now the fans were fully convinced this was all connected, that Durk had been holding this in for years, and finally let a little piece of it slide through the cracks. Asian doubled down. She tweeted, "Stop acting like you the only one hurting. We all lost him." And with that, the whole internet fractured. Some said Durk had every right to post what he did. He was Von's mentor, big bro, protector. He stayed silent out of respect, and maybe even guilt. Others said the family should have been treated better. That Asian deserved acknowledgement for how vocal she was in keeping Von's name alive. But now it's not just emotion. It's starting to feel like a media war. Bloggers are picking sides, fans are compiling receipts, old interviews are resurfacing, and people are wondering if this is leading to something bigger. A tell-all, a diss track, a documentary. One insider even claimed a documentary about Von's last year was in production. And that's why Durk's team has been so silent, because anything he says now could end up in the final cut. And if that's true, we might be heading toward a full-blown collision between legacy, loyalty, and the business of who controls the story. And the real ones are just sitting there like, Von deserved better. Because let's be honest, this ain't about who's trending or who's got more followers. This is about a man whose life changed everything, and whose name now sits in the middle of the internet like a wound no one knows how to heal. And the way things are moving, this is far from over. Right after Asian Doll's live ended, the comment section was on fire. Not just random fans, verified rappers, influencers, even a few people from Von's circle dropped emojis under the clip like they'd been waiting for someone to speak up. And then she tweeted again, just 3 words. Y'all ready yet? The energy? Unhinged. People instantly assumed she was about to drop something, a track, a clip, receipts. The quote tweets went wild. She got something in the vault. Nah, if she leaks it tonight, the whole industry getting exposed. Durk better say something quick. And at this point, the internet split in two. On one side, you had Team Asian, people saying she was right to speak up, that she had been silent too long, and Durk's lack of public support after Von's death was just another red flag. On the other side, people defending Durk, saying he had every right to grieve privately, and accusing Asian of making it about herself. But before either side could settle down, it happened. A screenshot leaked, a dem, allegedly between Asian and a close associate of Von's family. It wasn't confirmed, and names were blurred, but the convo real enough to send shockwaves through the fan base. In the messages, the person said, "You know they didn't want you at the service. They felt you were turning it into content." And Asian responds, "I wasn't doing this for views. I was grieving my own way. Why would Durk let that narrative fly?" Boom. Now the convo shifted again. Fans went back to the funeral, the interviews, the photos, the tweets, trying to piece together what really happened in those days after Von passed. Some fans remembered how quiet Durk was. Too quiet. Others recalled Asian posting tribute clips every day for weeks. Some thought it was clout chasing. Others saw it as her way of grieving loud, in public, because the pain was real. But just as the DM thread started blowing up, Von's cousin dropped a voice memo on his close friend's story, and it leaked immediately. The voice memo was short, maybe 30 seconds. His voice low and tired, but what he said made everything messy. Folks ain't even show up the way y'all think. It was a lot of industry people trying to look like family. I remember who called and who didn't. Once again, no names. But fans didn't need them. They already started playing Connect the Dots. Asian posted a cryptic reply soon after, saying, "Emma say it one last time, I was there when it mattered. I cried with his mama, but certain people ain't even pick up the phone that night, and now they posting quotes like they the victim." Now people were starting to question everything. Was Durk really mourning in silence? Or was he distancing himself from the narrative? Did Von's family and Durk fall out after the death? Nobody had the full story, but then came the biggest twist yet. An unreleased voicemail surfaced, allegedly from Von himself, left on a mutual friend's phone a few weeks before his death. In the audio, Von sounds exhausted. He says, "I know bro, love me. I know he do. But this industry changed people. It's like we family in private, but strangers in public. I peep it, but I ain't trippin'. It's just cold out here." Whew, fans froze. Because if that was real, and it sounded exactly like him, then it confirmed what a lot of people had been whispering for years. That even before Von passed, there was distance. Not beef, not betrayal, but emotional distance. Pressure. Tension that never got resolved. The audio clip went viral. Some said it gave them chills. Others said it felt like a warning, like he knew people would fight over his name once he was gone. Asian reposted the voicemail with a heartbroken emoji. Durk stayed silent. Still no post, no live, no tweet. Just one simple Insta story, a candle burning, no caption. And that silence was starting to divide people again. Some saw it as classy, mature, a man refusing to argue online over a brother he lost. Others saw it as passive, cold, like he was refusing to take any accountability for how people felt left behind. And behind the scenes, the industry was buzzing. Rumors swirled that Durk had been approached for a Von documentary deal and allegedly turned it down, not because he didn't want to honor Von, but because of creative control issues. Sources say he didn't want to be used for clickbait. Others say the producers wanted to explore the tension between Durk and Von more than the music, and Durk wasn't going for it. But here's where it got extra spicy. A small blog claimed that Durk's team had reached out to Asian's team quietly off the internet and asked her to cool down the energy out of respect for upcoming OTF releases. The blog posted no proof, no receipts, but the idea was enough to start a new storm. When people began asking, is this about grief or business? Are they protecting feelings or protecting brands? Because at this point, Von's name isn't just emotional, it's valuable. Unreleased tracks, interviews, merch, the kind of legacy people can profit off for years. And now fans are paranoid. Every post feels like strategy. Every silence feels loaded. Every old friend of Von's is being watched. Who speaks up? Who doesn't? And in the middle of it all, his mama, Miss Leandra, posted one more thing that night. It didn't get 1 million shares, but it hit. A simple photo of Von as a kid with the caption, "All this noise, all this back and forth, he just wanted peace." That shut everybody up for a moment, because the comments were flooded with crying emojis, prayer hands, and fans saying what everyone had been thinking. This isn't what Von would have wanted, but here we are. Asians threatening to drop voice notes. Von's family clearly feels some kind of way. Durk's silence is starting to feel louder than any statement. And the worst part? This don't feel like it's building to a resolution. It feels like it's building to a reckoning. The silence couldn't last forever. Not with fans calling him out. Not with Asian going live again, hinting at more clips. Not with Von's mom posting subtle shade. It wasn't a matter of if Durk would respond, it was when. And when he did. He didn't post a tweet. He didn't jump on live. He dropped a snippet, just a short clipped video posted to his Instagram story. Black and white footage, studio lights, Durk in the booth, hoodie low, eyes barely visible, and the lyrics? Straight tension. I loved you more than they know, took bullets for names, I don't say no more, but silence don't mean I ain't hurt, it just mean I ain't bitter. Whew. Fans lost it instantly. Nah, this aimed straight at Asian. He finally addressing the whispers. Wait, is that a Von bar? The clip was only 19 seconds long, but that was all he needed. Within 10 minutes, it had been reposted on rap blogs, sampled into TikTok edits, and turned into a full-blown Twitter thread breaking down every syllable like it was coded truth. But that wasn't even the wildest part, because while everyone was busy reacting to the snippet, something else leaked. a track. Unreleased. Unheard, unexpected. A collab. Durk x Von. Not a tribute, not a remix. An actual original verse from King Von laid over a new beat. Paired with Durk in current day mode. No one knew where it came from. No cover art, no promo, just the words Untitled Von Durk Final Top Wav uploaded anonymously to a SoundCloud burner account. The internet exploded. Fans were confused, excited, emotional, and most of all, divided. Because while the song went hard, aggressive flow, brotherly energy, old school OTF chemistry, the context made things messy. One line in Durk's verse had people shook. I seen them crying over him, but they ain't pull up when he was breathing. Boom, screenshots, debates, voice notes, podcasts, YouTube reactions dropped within hours. Some fans praised Durk. He said what needed to be said. Others dragged him. That line was a slap to Von's fam, and then Asian posted again. On Twitter, she quote tweeted a fan saying Durk just dropped the hardest response of 2025 with 3 laughing emojis and this message, hard on a beat but not on the phone. Next, that was the tweet. Everyone jumped back into the mix. Old tweets from 2020 and 2021 resurfaced. People started arguing over who really held Von down in his last months. And suddenly, the leaks weren't just songs, they were evidence in a trial of loyalty. But the biggest twist came from inside OTF. An ex-affiliate, someone who had worked on visuals with both Durk and Von, decided to speak out in a 7-minute video posted to his Finsta. He didn't say too much, didn't name names, but he did say this. The reason that song leaked is because somebody wanted it heard before it got buried. There's more where that came from. Durk ain't clear it. Von ain't get to finalize it. But it existed. And they killed it to protect feelings. What feelings? Rumors started flying. People saying Durk had been holding back Von's unreleased music due to issues with management. Others claimed the real reason that collab never dropped was because it had too many truths. Things Von said about people around him. Truths that would have complicated the brand. Now, it's all out, and the comments under the leaked track said it best. This the version of Durk we missed. This should have dropped day 1. They tried to hide this because it's too real. And then, another blow. Von's sister reposted the track on her story. No caption, no emojis, just the link. Fans took that as a cosign. Now people are reading everything like chess. Every post, every like, every lyric is another move on the board. And the winner, nobody knows. Because this ain't a battle over streams. This is a battle over legacy. And it's not just Durk and Asian anymore. Now it's spilling into every corner of Von's circle. The producers, the friends, the family, the silence. And what makes it so heavy? The fact that Von isn't here to say what's real. So everybody's speaking for him, arguing over him, profiting off him. And that's what hurts fans the most. Because King Von was never the quiet one. He was direct, raw, never filtered, and now his name is getting tossed around like a headline while everyone's acting like they meant well. Durk dropped another teaser that night. This time, it was just an image. His hand resting on a microphone covered in ash. Caption, some voices still haunt the booth. No one knew what it meant, but everyone felt it. And if he's dropping an entire project tied to this, if this new rollout is about cleaning up everything left unsaid, it's about to get ugly because Asian already said she's not done. Von's family clearly has their own version of the story. And the fans, they're not interested in peace anymore. They want truth. They want bars. They want blood on the track. This ain't just a rap story. This is a digital documentary playing out in real time. And nobody knows what happens in the final act. The rumors were true. Durk wasn't just dropping snippets. He wasn't just teasing captions. Behind all the silence, the unfollows, the lyrics, the subtle shots, he was building something. At midnight, without warning, Durk dropped a surprise EP titled For Them, Not You. 5 tracks, no features, no promo. Just a black cover and a release note that said, "This one ain't for the charts." Track 3, it's called Voicemail 1126, and when fans heard it, they cried. For real. It wasn't a song, not even a full beat. It was a voicemail from King Von, one nobody had heard, raw, unedited, his voice clear and vulnerable. "Aye, bro. just checking in. I know it's a lot going on, but you know I always rock with you. Whatever happens, we locked in. Just keep your head up and stay dangerous." The audio played over a soft instrumental. No verses, no chorus, just Von's voice, then silence. And after that, Durk whispering, "I heard you, twin." That was it. And the internet stopped breathing. Screenshots flooded TikTok. Reaction videos dropped within minutes. Fans on Twitter were openly sobbing. I was not ready for that track. He really made peace with the silence. This was bigger than music. Even people who had been calling Durk cold, distant, fake, started reconsidering everything. And Asian, she posted a single black screen to her story with a broken heart emoji. No words, no video, nothing else. Because no matter how loud the drama had gotten, that voicemail felt like a reset. For a moment, everything quieted down, but that didn't last long. By morning, blogs were back on fire. They started digging into the other tracks on the EP. And track 5, called Mirrors Lie. Yeah, that one stirred the pot again. In it, Durk says, "They gon' love you when you loud, hate you when you heal, say you sold out just cause you ain't trying to get killed." Fans said it felt like a final word to everyone. Asian, the fans, maybe even Von's family. A message that he was done living in the past. And then came the interview. Durk went live with a respected hip-hop journalist for a one-time sit-down. No edits, no fluff, just a raw 25-minute conversation. The big moment? The interviewer asked, "What's the one thing you wish you could say to Von now, after everything?" Durk sat quiet, eyes low, then said, "I wish we had that last convo. I wish I called him when I felt distant instead of assuming he switched up. But I loved him. I still do. And that ain't for social media. That's just what it is." The interviewer nodded. You could feel the room get heavy. Then came the question everyone wanted. What about Asian, the family, all this online stuff? Durk took a breath. "I never had a problem with her. I just didn't agree with how things played out. I grieved differently. People forget, like when someone dies, everybody grieves for their version of that person. And sometimes, those versions don't match." That line hit hard, and the reactions were instant. Some fans felt closure, like he finally gave them the transparency they'd been begging for. Others still felt like the silence lasted too long, that too much damage had already been done. And Asian, she finally went live that night, and instead of yelling, clapping back, or dropping new bars, she cried. For real, no makeup, no background music, just her and the phone. "I never hated him. I just wanted him to show the world what I knew behind the scenes. That Von mattered to both of us, and that even if it's messy now, we was all hurting." That moment was human, not viral, not drama, not beef, just grief. And suddenly the fans remembered, behind all the posts and leaks and speculation, were real people who lost someone they loved, someone who changed the game, someone who didn't get the chance to see what he started. King Von, by the end of the week, Voicemail 1126 had charted on Apple Music without a single push. Fans were making tribute edits. Asian reposted one with the caption, "Forever." Durk reposted the same video. No tag, no caption, just the song playing. And that's where things stand. No diss tracks, no exposed DMs, no names thrown around anymore. Just a shared silence and a collective ache. Was it perfect? No. Too much was said, too many hearts hurt. But maybe that voicemail was never meant for the world to hear. Maybe it just reminded everyone why they cared in the first place. Because for a moment, even if just a few minutes, Durk, Asian, Von's mom, the fans, they all heard the same voice, and they all remembered. This wasn't about clout, or beef, or fame. This was about love, and that's where it ends. Or maybe just begins again. Because yeah, Durk spoke. Asian responded. Von's mama let her pain be known. And the fans. They watched every second like it was the final episode of a show they didn't want to finish. But behind the reposts, the tears, the silence turned studio. Yet we're left with one question that still ain't got a real answer. Who really held Von down? Was Durk grieving privately or avoiding the smoke? Was Asian doing too much? Or was she the only one keeping his name alive? Did the family feel ignored or protected? Because truth is, everyone claimed him. But nobody ever claimed the division, and now we got this voicemail floating around, echoing in playlists, etched in hearts. Not just as a track, but as a reminder. We lost someone real, and maybe we lost the unity that came with him, so now it's on you. Was this healing, or a calculated rollout? Was voicemail 1126 closure, or the beginning of more receipts dropping? And more importantly, do you think Vaughn would have wanted it to go down like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Speak your truth. We're watching every take. And if you're feeling this deep dive into real love, real loss, and real rap family fallout, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications, cause when the next twist hits, we're gonna break it all the way down. Rest in peace to King Von. May the truth always come to light. We out.